Welcome back to Monday, or day 3 of PyCon UK 2018. Most people here have been here for the last couple of days, I think, but is anyone here who's just arrived today? I'm always amazed by this number of people who have just arrived today. It seems unfeasible, but in fact we'll have had 876 people through these doors over the course of this PyCon. So it's definitely one of the biggest ever. And we're running at around 560 people each day. So welcome to all of the new people. Because we have a different population every day, I have to repeat some things each morning, so those of you who have heard this all before, you can just ignore me. This is a volunteer-run conference. This is our organizing team. All of us on the team are doing this unpaid in their spare time. It's not really spare, no one has spare time. We're assisted by a vast team of volunteers without whom none of this would be working as it is, including our fabulous video team led by Tim Williams. We get a lot of help from some of the services. There is our STTRs over there, so typing away all day long, every day. City Hall have been enormously helpful to us. We have enthusiasm events providing AV services. We have our creche. Does anyone here using the creche or using it for their children today? Any creche users? Okay. Well, maybe not in this room, but we've had the best usage out of the free creche this year. And we're really pleased about that because it's important to us that these facilities are used and are used to help people attend. There's Mark, our photographer, so thanks, Mark. I've posted a link in Slack to some of his photographs from yesterday, and it's also on the front page of the website, so have a look at those photos. Thank you to our sponsors who are paying a substantial proportion of your ticket prices. Last night, we had a great night in the lower hall with the manual technology and board games night. Who was there last night? Yeah, who's got a snake or something to show for it? Yeah. Thank you very much, Georgina, and thank you very much, Chloe. That was really a lovely night. So, yeah. We might speak to you about doing that again for another year, you know, now that you've done it. Good. Oh, yes. So this suddenly started crashing yesterday morning. If anyone thinks they can read console logs and find out what's going on, that might be really handy for me, so come and see me. But I suspect it's a hardware issue. What's on today? We have a keynote talk from Luc van Hent in a few minutes. We have lightning talks. That's a bit of, forget that. We're not going to go for that now. Where's Owen? Owen, you're going to quickly introduce the lightning talks, or yes, you quickly explain how the lightning talks work.
Good morning, everybody. I know many of you will be sitting through this for the 3rd time this year and however many years before, but we do have a lot of new people here this morning, so you chose to be here. You're going to have to sit through it again, I'm afraid. Lightning talks. We finished each day of the conference with an hour session at the end of lightning talks. These are short, 5-minute presentations, and they can be on any subject you like. And believe me, we've had everything over the years. Anything that you might think might be interesting or entertaining to the audience that's here is fair game for a lightning talk. Many speakers who go on to give talks at conferences like this around the world started their speaking career by putting their name up for a lightning talk. It's a great way to get started. And here at PyCon UK, we think you're unlikely to find a friendlier audience. I'm sure other conferences would disagree, but they're not here. So, if you are halfway tempted to have a go at giving a talk to a conference like this, the lightning talks are a great way to do it. We run a high-tech system. There are other systems, but this is ours, and we're very proud of it. We have some buckets that will appear at the registration desk shortly after this, and there are some index cards down there. If you want to give a talk, take an index card, put your name on it so that we can read it, please. Give us a few words to describe what your talk will be about and drop it into a bucket. The green bucket, which has locked itself, the green bucket is for anybody who has never given a talk at a conference before, so first-time speakers. The yellow bucket is for everybody else. Those buckets will be there until lunchtime, so you've got a couple of hours to have a think about it and talk yourself into it. At lunchtime, we'll take them away and we'll draw cards from the buckets, half from each, and those will be put up on a flip chart down at the registration desk. If you've put a card in here, please come and check during the afternoon to see if your card was drawn, and just give us a tick to say that you're still happy to do it. So that when we come here at 5:30, we know that the list that we've got is actually the list of people who are going to turn up and give a talk. And there was one request which I forgot to make yesterday, which was that if you are giving a talk, it can save a lot of time if you set up your laptop to have its mirrored settings all ready to roll. When we swap over the speakers, that's what takes most of the time at the moment. And if you're not sure how to do that, just come and find one of us and ask, and we'll sort it out for you.
Thank you. Or even better, send us the slides in advance and we'll put them all together on one laptop. Lunchtime today, in the Marble Hall just out here, we have the poster session. So if people have signed up for a poster session, we'll have the boards up ready for you at lunchtime. And now Peter will introduce what's happening this evening.
Good morning. Excuse me. This evening, we are running a coding dojo in the London style in the lower hall at 7:30. If you've never been to a dojo before, I think you might quite enjoy it. The idea comes from martial arts, where a dojo is a sort of a ritualized practice where you go through the moves of fighting, but without actually doing any fighting. We won't be doing any fighting tonight either. Sorry. We'll be splitting into teams of 4 or 5, and we'll try and ensure that there's a mixture of abilities within each team. We'll give you a problem to solve, and you'll have about an hour and a half to find interesting and creative solutions to the problem. And then towards the end, we'll have a show and tell where you'll be able to demonstrate your code working, tell us how it works, and hopefully learn a bit from other teams' solutions. So there will be a wood-fired pizza oven outside and a bar inside, as last night. I hope you'll come along and enjoy it and learn a bit and have fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter. Just as a reminder, or if you didn't know already, this event is covered by a code of conduct. Please find it on our website and read it if you have not already done so. It's a statement of how we'd like people here to behave to each other with respect, courtesy, and kindness. We need everybody to understand the code of conduct and to agree to it. It's a condition of entry to this event. We have a formal system for reporting, so you can do that via a phone number, email address, on Slack to somebody who's to one of the organizers, or to one of the organizers in person. The organizers are wearing red lanyards. Just so you know, it's important to know, we have dealt with a few minor code of conduct issues over the last couple of days. In each case, they have been resolved or dealt with satisfactorily. A code of conduct issue isn't necessarily a very serious issue of somebody deliberately doing something else to distress another person. It can be something that's inadvertent, or somebody said something more strongly than they intended to speak, or perhaps they said something not realizing that it might have implications for another person. So it's always fine to raise a code of conduct issue about behavior, language, imagery, or something else. And it's much better to do that and to find out afterwards that it was okay, or maybe it wasn't as big an issue as you thought, than to discover that you didn't stop to mention or think about something that in fact was a problem and maybe distressed someone. So always err on the side of reporting. It's not actually a big deal to report a code of conduct issue, and it's not actually that big a deal if somebody comes to you and said, by the way, somebody had a code of conduct concern about something you said. So we try to diffuse it and lower the tension surrounding code of conduct questions. It makes it easier to talk about them. One thing that, well, I'll come on to that in a moment. I'm not going to talk about this again. Does anybody not know what I mean by this? Now, you're welcome to, now you see, some people are here for the first time, so probably you're not sure what I mean by this, which is absolutely fine. You will see posters outside all the toilets. If you're not sure what is meant by this, you will find somebody else in this conference who does know, who has heard it twice already. So just ask them. It's not a big secret or anything like that. It'll save me talking about toilets again. But this I want to talk about because one thing that we did have a couple of complaints or remarks about is that people in the excitement of the moment after a talk, when the question session comes, forget exactly what a question is. And maybe they're so excited by the talk or it resonated with them so much that they feel the need to express an opinion or deliver a comment of their own. And that's not the place of it. The place for the question slot is to ask questions. So we really would like to stress that, to ask your questions in a way that the speaker can answer, and your questions should be brief so that the speaker's answer can be longer. And we really appreciate that people respect this and abide by this. Lanyards. Organizers wear red lanyards and may be photographed. People wearing blue lanyards are happy to be photographed. Some people are wearing yellow lanyards and prefer not to be photographed. So please check when you're taking your photograph and publishing it on Twitter that you don't have identifiable people wearing yellow lanyards because they prefer not to be photographed. The quiet room is at the far end of the marble hall. You're welcome to use it just to sit down there quietly and be by yourself. It's not a place for talking or chatting. It's just a place to be there in quiet when you need that, and people sometimes do need that. Our conference Wi-Fi, which I expect you've found by now anyway. We have a Slack channel, which is the main means of communication for the conference itself. I encourage you to join it if you're not on there. People are posting useful things, interesting things about talks, about social events, and so on. You will find the conference organizers have little red badges by their names in Slack. So if you ever need to speak to one of us privately, send us a private message. You're encouraged to use Twitter to tell everybody about the conference and how wonderful it is and so on. Don't use Twitter to contact us because we're not able to reply on Twitter all the time. Our schedule on the website. Lunch, how it works. Now, lunch yesterday was much better than lunch on the Saturday. And that's because people were much better about following the indicated time on their badge. You see there's a lunch time indicated on your badge. If you go at the appointed hour or half hour, you will find that you queue less and everything is more orderly and satisfactory and better for everyone. So by following that simple rule, you will make things better for everyone. And how often do you get the chance to do that? Dinner at the Clink. We've got tickets for the Clink, one of Cardiff's best restaurants. Tonight's tickets are sold out. Sorry, but you can come here for the Coder Dojo. Instead, there's a rather nice pizza van outside with a wood-fired oven. But you can still book Clink tickets for Tuesday. You can do that on our website. You'll find the page for the dinners. And that's it. We're now ready to have our keynote speaker of the day. Oh, excuse me, there's a... we shall let you know who's leading. Oh, I can lead you to the clink. Yes, okay. Let's go. We're going to have our first keynote speaker. He's just going to set up, and then I will introduce.